one of the darkest moments of my life. It all began 7 years ago when I discovered that my ex-wife had cheated on me with a married man. I still carry the scars from that betrayal, and the memories of it linger in my mind. The challenges we face while sharing custody of our daughter, the truth behind the betrayal, and the unexpected events that followed completely changed my life. That night, I received a call that would change everything. It was my daughter's mother, apologizing for her past mistakes and offering to establish a healthier relationship for the sake of our daughter's future. But her words only reopened old wounds. A battle started within me. Could I truly forgive her? Before I dive into my story, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the shocking truths I've experienced. Feel free to share them in the comments, and please show your support by liking my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for real, shocking cheating stories. We share them every day. Now, let's continue with my story, The Affair and the Pain. 7 years ago, I found out that my ex-wife had a 4-month affair with a married man. At the time, we were managing joint custody of our 16-year-old daughter, and we only communicated through my sister or by email. I learned about the affair when the man's wife sent me all the unfaithful photos and videos. The most painful part of the betrayal for me was realizing that my ex-wife had done things with her lover that she had never done with me. She had once told me that such actions were demeaning to a woman. When I gave her a chance to confess, she manipulated me emotionally and swore on our daughter's life, claiming I was making insane accusations. But when I showed her the evidence, she finally admitted it. She broke down, telling me she had made a huge mistake and knew I would never forgive her. I told her that from that point on, she could only contact me in case of emergencies related to our daughter's health or safety. We divorced shortly after. The unexpected call. 6 years later, last month, my daughter asked if I would attend a dinner she had prepared for a cooking competition. Of course, I agreed, but there was one important thing. My ex-wife would also be there. My daughter knows why we divorced, and she understands that I do not communicate with her mother. It had been 6 years since I had seen or spoken to my ex-wife. At the dinner, my former in-laws, my ex-wife, my sister, and I were present. My daughter's meal was delicious, and everything went smoothly. A week later, I received a call from my ex-wife. I thought it was about our daughter, so I answered. Our daughter was fine, but my ex-wife had something else to say. She sincerely wanted to apologize for her past mistakes. She mentioned that our daughter was afraid to see us together and said that our current situation was unhealthy for her. She asked if we could coexist peacefully for the sake of our daughter's future. I listened carefully to everything she said, and when she finished, I simply said, no, and hung up the phone. I now find myself in need of advice. My sister believes that my ex-wife is genuinely remorseful and sad. She thinks my ex-wife just wants to create a healthier environment for our daughter. My sister also reminded me to consider our daughter's mental health and what kind of value I would have in her life if I'm not happy. She said, if you're not happy, your ex-wife won't make you happy, and neither will your daughter. So, I'm seeking fair opinions. Should I forgive my ex-wife for the sake of our daughter, move forward, and try to build a better co-parenting relationship? Yesterday, I spoke with my daughter, and her words were eye-opening. She told me she loves me and knows I would do anything for her. She said she doesn't want me to do things I wouldn't be comfortable with just for her sake. She also shared that her mother is sometimes sad and often says that I'll never forgive her, which is why people continue to judge her for her past. My daughter told me that her mother has very few friends left now and has lost some childhood friends because their spouses didn't want them associating with her after the divorce. Some people even excluded her from their social groups in order to protect their own marriages. My daughter misses having our family together, but understands that both her mother and I love her. She asked me questions about forgiveness and what things might be unforgivable. I explained that it depends on a person's values and moral standards. Sometimes, you may dislike someone's actions but still love the person. Other times, It's difficult to separate a person's behavior from who they are. I gave her an example. Your mother is a person, and I can't separate her actions from who she is. This doesn't mean she's a bad mother, just that I can't go back to having the relationship we used to have. I also explained that an apology doesn't automatically fix everything, and that sometimes behaviors have consequences. I told her that her mother's actions are part of her, but they don't define who she is as a mother. After the divorce, I decided to consult 2 therapists who specialize in marriage and family counseling. I had 5 sessions with each over 5 months. I discussed all my issues, the dynamics with my ex-wife, and my current situation. During the therapy sessions, I shared my story with both therapists, seeking unbiased opinions. The advice I received from both therapists gave me the perspective I needed to understand what changes I had to make. First, I invited my ex-wife to attend 3 planned therapy sessions with me. The goal of these sessions wasn't for me to forgive her immediately, but to give her the chance to discuss our issues with a professional, but to provide closure and create a plan for raising our daughter and managing our joint events. I invited my ex-wife to therapy. She accepted my invitation. The first session was spent sharing our views about our current life situation and our expectations for our daughter. I shared that I am satisfied with my life. My career and personal life are balanced, and I have reached happiness and success. I expressed that I want my daughter to grow up to be happy, loved, and self-respecting. I emphasized the importance of understanding the difference between right and wrong and acting accordingly. My ex-wife, who is an interior and exterior designer, spoke passionately about her career, how her past relationships ended badly, and how this had increased her fear of commitment. She said she wanted our daughter to be happy, loved, and hardworking. I told her I was afraid our daughter might end up like she was 7 years ago. My ex-wife admitted that her pride had been hurt, but that she had been in therapy for years and understood that her past behaviors had caused these fears. In the second session, my ex-wife asked many questions. I answered her questions honestly and openly. She asked 3 main questions: how I healed from the harm she caused and what advice I could give her, how she could replace what she had destroyed, how she could be friends with me again. I answered her questions, and by the end of the session, we reached 2 main agreements. In the last session, I told my ex-wife that I would allow her to contact me outside of emergencies if she wanted to discuss our daughter. I also agreed to consult once a year until our daughter graduates. For the past 3 months, I've been focusing on what's most urgent for our child. Now that she is a 16-year-old teenager, I am doing everything I can for her happiness.